A.J. Brown. He was simply superb last time out, going for almost 300 yards. It's the Eagles and the Vikings on Thursday night.
The city of Philadelphia is one of rich history and passion, and you can always count on the ladder when you step inside Lincoln Financial Field. Tonight, we're on to week 2 in the NFL season. We got a good one on tap, as it'll be the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they interplay here. They come in off a good win on the road, and now they hit the home opener at 1-0.
And the offense, my goodness, over 50 points in the win last weekend. When you do that, you're not going to lose very many games, maybe not any games.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
The first game's out of the way. Time to buckle down for the long season ahead. And we're off in week 2. And no run back on the opening kickoff. It'll come out to the 25. So here are the Vikings set to go to work, and they're led by the leading passer in the NFC a season ago. Now in his 12th year, 6th as a Viking, Kirk Cousins.
And he certainly had his share of struggles in the opener, threw a couple of ill-timed interceptions in the game. So that was something that was harped upon all week in practice. Because if he's going to help this team be a winning one, he can't give the football away like he did last week.
First play and a first pass for Cousins. Throw caught there by Osborne. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Calling no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Had his hands on it, but dropped it. The rookie making a little bit of a rookie mistake. Third down. You look at this Eagle defense. They've been pretty solid against the pass. Toward the middle of the pack, number 14 in the NFL.
When you're getting ready to face the #1 overall offense in the NFL, it does not matter where you rank defensively because you got your hands full. You don't know what you're going to face, but you know that that's a strong unit that you're getting ready for.
A good pickup there, 22. So, Charles, defensively here, you're going up against a veteran quarterback. He's got a lot of know-how, a ton of savvy, but a guy who's not the most mobile of quarterbacks. What's the plan of attack?
You spend all week pumping up your defensive front. Your defensive tackles, your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys who go after the quarterback the most, because you know that he's not going to run and beat you consistently throughout the game. You can rush more aggressively off the edge and even up the middle, because even if he evades you, he's not going to go very far. You have a lot more confidence going after him in the pocket.
Cousins' throw pulled in by Jefferson. And Jefferson's going to have the Vikings first down as he'll get this down to the 41. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook.
They're looking for Jefferson, but this is intercepted. Picked up by James Bradbury. And the Eagles are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. So problems with errant passing continuing. Remember, he threw 2 picks in the loss last week and now another here in this first quarter.
And sometimes, partner, this is the result of a quarterback who's simply trying to do too much. Feels like he's trying to make up for what he did last week, and he can't do it all on one throw.
So here come the Eagles, the defending NFC champs, led out by a man who was the runner-up to Patrick Mahomes at MVP balloting a season ago. Of course, that's Jalen Hurts.
We talk so much about how coaches script things, especially on offense, to start a season, to start a game, whatever it is. Could they have scripted a better start in terms of playing? Offensive player of the week in the NFC, and his team won their season opener.
Absolutely. Perfect start to the year, but all the talk was, hey, that was week 1. Now we got to move forward.
Let's do it again in week 2. That's what he's told his teammates.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
But when you're going up against a talented receiver like that, you just know that they're going to bring more people to him, right? They're going to double cover him every chance they get.
I think that is what we're going to see all game long. An early taste of that double, maybe even sometimes triple coverage we might see.
Yeah, I think what they're counting on, his talent to sometimes beat that double coverage.
Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
And that's out to the flat for Swift. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for an Eagle first down.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
Hurts throw complete there to Smith. Touchdown! Devontae Smith, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Eagles take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. They scored the most points of anyone on opening weekend, and now first quarter touchdown here.
And while there's no guarantee that all the points they scored opening weekend are going to hold up and be the average all year long, they're certainly starting to set that type of a pace. And what you do with that is you put in the heads of all of your opponents, we've got to really be ready on defense because these guys know how to put the ball in the end zone.
Do you think they can keep piling on the points like this?
I think they can if they're prepared to adjust and adapt because they won't see the same defenses week in and week out.
Elliott good on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. And the Vikings taking the field here for their second drive of the game. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down. Throwing is Cousins. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. And now, meanwhile, after the dust settles on the fumble, we've got an injured player here as well. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. On first down, Hurts. This will be caught by Brown. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. A big play that time on the catch and run. And it'll give them a fresh set of downs.
It's almost as if they didn't leave the field after their first drive. They picked right up where they left off. Another good throw there. And this offense, humming here in the early going.
Swift will get down close to the goal line, but not in, as he'll be marked down at the 1. Give him 3 on the gain there. 2nd and goal.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone, trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
Penny is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Well, nothing fancy there, Charles. You had 3 tight ends on the field. They were going to run the football. The defense knew it, but the defense couldn't stop it.
And I haven't met an offensive line yet that doesn't get more satisfaction out of running the football into the end zone than pass protecting. They had determination on their side, and they got it done.
Elliott good with a PAT, and that'll make the score 14-0. After the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. And the Vikings now heading on to the field. The losers in the season opener on Sunday, they get that quick turnaround 96 hours later. Here we go. They're back at it. And I've got to think, especially early in the year, that's a good thing for these guys, is it not?
It absolutely is, and we've seen it many times demonstrated over the years. Teams have a rough opening game, have to play the Thursday game. That quick turnaround allows them to go ahead and throw the other game out, focus on the new one, and typically they play much better in game two. So I would agree with you totally on that.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. To throw is Cousins. Going underneath, he's got Hawkinson. And he's able to break out of one tackle, but then quickly brought down. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And it'll be a third and about 13. Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. They'll swing this out to Fournette. And this effort will not get it done. He's stopped well short of the first down at the 29. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a fourth down.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? Third down, they just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
A nice return that time of about 14 yards. And it will be Eagles football, 1st and 10. On the ground, it's Swift to start the drive. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 19 carries, 119 yards, and the score.
Well, obviously, he didn't have a great deal of time between games, having to turn around on a short week and get ready for Thursday night football. But he said in pregame, he was feeling pretty good and felt more recovered from last week's contest than he would have expected. Didn't seem to think this short week was going to affect him much as he chases a big performance here in prime time.
Here's a diving catch right side. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
Time to give some credit to the big fellas, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes, because you've got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time, be able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw.
Now second quarter action from Philadelphia, and it's the Eagles in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. They will run straight ahead with Swift. Credited with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
2nd and 9. Here's Hurts to throw. Wide open is Watkins. He's got it. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Quez Watkins, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Eagles have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Well, this offensive unit, they were solid in the opening week victory, and now they are looking just as sharp here in week 2.
And that's exactly what you want, too, because you want to get better each and every week and really ramp up as the season goes on. I know it's still early in the season and a lot can happen, but this offense, they look like they're going to be fun to watch each and every time out.
Elliott on for the extra point. And it is now 21-0. A drive there of just 4 plays. The result, Philadelphia in the end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And they come into this one off the loss over the weekend, but you say if you're going to play a Thursday night game, this is the week to do it.
It certainly is, because you get right back out there. You don't have time to dwell on things. And look, your game plan is going to be a little more limited, but so is theirs. So that's when you just appeal to your top players. Guys, you make plays in this one, we out-execute them, we can walk away with a win.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Going underneath, he's got Hawkinson. So the completion good for just 3. And 3rd and 8 now.
And he's the epitome of what we call a move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere. In the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter, because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
Here's Ward to return. 13 yards the tally on the return there. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. Now, they were winners in the season opener Sunday. Now they get the quick turnaround game here on Thursday night. But, CD, you say this is an ideal setup for them. Why?
Well, it's just the way the schedule lines up, because everyone's got to play a Thursday game, and that's because of competitive balance. So, let's face it, would you rather play week 2 when you're still relatively fresh and excited about the season, or week 15 when you've had a season's worth of bumps and bruises to factor in, and who knows what your record might be at that time as well?
Now he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. It's a gain of 35.
This offense is looking very comfortable here in this first half. Very relaxed, very smooth, very efficient. No wasted motions. Things are definitely going their way, and they continue to move the ball downfield.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Hurts. This short throw caught by Goddard. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And it's 2nd down.
And let's face it, you can put any Halloween costume on him. You're not going to be able to disguise him, because for a tight end of his size, difficult to sneak him anywhere, but that's what they tried to do. Lined up on his right, tried to work his way back to his left, but just a minimal gain as the defense was able to react quickly.
Hurts throw complete here to his receiver Brown. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark it down at the 9. 18 yards that time to push him up 1st and goal. This offense can certainly move quickly when they want to. 3 plays, 3 pass completions. In the blink of an eye, they've got a 1st and goal.
Almost felt like a lightning bolt hit in this game, didn't it? For them to get downfield that quickly. And now 1st and goal, expect them to attack right here on this play.
And it's caught. Touchdown, Eagles. DeAndre Swift, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Eagles are able to widen their lead here in this first half. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a 2nd one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble, because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdowns scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds, if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Elliott good on the extra point, and a round is on here in this first half. After the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen. Shake it off.
That's big Jordan Davis powering in to drop it. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles, and that front seven defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
Calling a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12. Let's see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down. On 3rd down, Cousins. Right side, it's the tight end, Hockenson. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that'll bring up 4th down. And here's Ryan Wright now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And now it looks like he's in some discomfort after being tackled at the end of that return. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They come off a victory over the weekend, but now the quick turnaround here for this Thursday night game. How does that affect how teams like this approach these short turnarounds?
Well, wins and losses always factor into, how you're getting ready for the next game. But equally as important when you have the short turnaround, what is your injury situation? Are you losing key guys? And if so, how well have the backups prepared for this? Because you don't have much time to get them ready. They have to be ready before this week in order to play well in this game.
Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Hurts. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. And Danielle Hunter, he's the one who gets in there and brings him down to the ground.
Traditionally, as a defense, your number one job, stop the run. But in today's football, it's impacted the opposing quarterback. Make him uncomfortable. And so far, they've not been able to do that.
Not at all. He's been really comfortable in the pocket. 3 touchdown passes already.
So that could be an important first sack if they do want to turn things around.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Hurts sets up to throw it. Dancing to his left. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
They certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. Throwing is Hurts. And he is going to have an Eagles first down. And they convert in style right there. A big play on 4th and long. So after the big play on 4th, here's 1st and 10. They'll look to throw again. He will find Smith in the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A great play there. With his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Eagles will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Elliott now to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it was finished off by a touchdown from Devontae Smith. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. The Vikings going to take over now late in this first half. Things for them, just to put it bluntly, man, it has been tough sledding here in the first half, facing that big deficit. The clock is dwindling now. Maybe if they can get something on the board here before intermission, they'll have at least a little momentum heading into the second half. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Following the incomplete pass, here they go again. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Cousins now. Under pressure, and down he goes. That sack courtesy of the effort of Hassan Reddick. Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. Not wanting to risk another sack, they'll play it safe with a run. And they will bottle him up behind the line, and now will they use a timeout? The Eagles will take their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. 46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together. They'll throw on first down with Hurts. Well, this is Smith with the ground. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. So we've come to halftime here in Philly with the Eagles on top. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a moment. But first, the NFL season is in full swing. Let's show the good folks what we've got in store for us later this weekend here in Week 2. In the early window, we'll have our eye on that game in Jacksonville. The Jaguars going to need to be on their A game as they'll have to do battle with the visiting Kansas City Chiefs. More good stuff later in the afternoon, one being down in the desert, where it'll be the Cardinals at home in Glendale, taking on the New York Giants. And finally, on Monday night, our first doubleheader of the year. Saints Panthers at 7:15 Eastern, followed by Cleveland-Pittsburgh an hour later. The Eagles got a solid first half from last year's MVP runner-up, Jalen Hurts. He was nothing short of amazing, throwing 4 touchdown passes to help push his guys out to a sizable halftime lead. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. So the Eagles with the lead, and they're going to get this football first as the third quarter gets underway. On the return, Boston Scott. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. So here are the Eagles to take over. They defeated the Patriots last week, now looking to make it 2 in a row here as they come up 1st and 10. Third quarter starts with a run from Swift. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Malik Harrison on the tackle. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you. and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
On 1st and 10, it's Hurts. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. 2nd down, here's Jalen Hurts. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
He's going to get that to Swift underneath. And he'll only get this to about the 44 as they stop him short of the line to gain. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
The 20. He's got the 1st down and then some. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A.J. Brown, 44 yards. And the Eagles' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. Well, I tell you what, Charles, I know that you don't put a ton of stock into power rankings and things of that nature, but another score here, and 2 weeks into the season, this is maybe the most impressive team in the NFL. Would you agree?
Well, they've certainly sold me as they've sold you, and I agree with you, no question about it. They won easily last week. They're on their way to another lopsided victory. A team to be reckoned with, and they are serving notice to the rest of the league.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. This fielded right at the goal line. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Throw left side, taken in by Jefferson. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more.
And the Vikings 1st down.
Throwing, Cousins. Catch is made by Hawkinson, the tight end. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. They'll throw again. Cousins. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And the Eagles are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding what receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, Hurts fumbles it. And the Vikings pick up the football. He may go. And they're going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. And at this point, after that return for a touchdown, I guess the only thing is you're asking what else could go wrong.
Not only that, I think that between the 2 of us, we thought this was over before. I believe now it's really over.
The extra point splits the uprights, so they do get 1 score back, but still a long way to go here in the 3rd quarter. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And the drive will begin at the 25 as Scott is going to stay in the end zone. Wide receiver A.J. Brown. You see he and the rest of his mates returning to the field here.
And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first. Well, up big, but still not hesitating to take some shots downfield, CD. I guess they really want to hammer home their dominance in this one.
Yeah, that much is apparent, partner. If they keep completing throws like that, they'll keep that gap awfully wide as they've established already.
So 1 play, and they're already just shy of midfield. They're going to look to throw. Oh, and Hurts is going to be hit and taken down to the ground. Brian Asamoah working his way in to pick up the sack.
Partner, the Mike linebacker, the middle linebacker has so many different responsibilities. How excited do you think he was to get home with that blitz?
Yeah, he wants a sack. He got it. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Jordan Hicks. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. Well, with the size of lead that this offense has, I don't think that interception is really going to affect them much. But at least for this defense, something small to hang their hat on.
Yeah, and let's face it, they're not even scoreboard watching anymore, right? They're just trying their best to make a play, get themselves off the field, which they just did, and salvage a little bit of pride in this one.
Trying to get the run game going. This is Fournette. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route, the drag, and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone, and you're not running.
Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession.
So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead. The way things have gone in this one, the running game's been something of an afterthought, and that's not been too bad for them, has it?
Yeah, the offensive returns have been good, but I guess we figured he in the ground game would be a bit more involved.
Second down, here's Hurts.
This short throw caught by Goddard. And he'll be upended here after a pickup of 3, getting it out to the 25. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his second catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him, and what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their third corner who's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
Off the play fake, here's Hurts.
He's got Smith here. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. One quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia.
This offense really looking polished these first couple of weeks. Here's 1st and 10. They run out of the gun with Swift.
And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. And I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this fourth quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off the game.
Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described, manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage, they are powering through, and they're controlling this game.
And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
There's a beautiful throw there, and he's been sensational the entire game, moving it around, spreading it, hitting the right guys. And look, under normal situations, partner, I would expect him to come out of the...
Feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7.
Credit that sack to Marcus Davenport.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time to wind.
Open man, he's got him. That's Smith for the Philadelphia touchdown.
A 7-yard touchdown grab.
And the Eagles are on their way to a 2-0 start. Oh, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Jake Elliott taking off for Philadelphia.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off.
Taken at the goal line. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
And now out comes Minnesota.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, that uses motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again. We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailing by multiple touchdowns and a late sack, just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
Under pressure, and they got to him again. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up third.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
And on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away.
On the return is Ward.
7 yards on the return after a punt of 39.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
And out now come the Eagles.
I'm just wondering, do they want to add on to this gigantic lead? My guess, given how they like to play and how explosive this offense is, Charles, that they're not content being up by this margin. They probably want more.
And if they do go and get more, oh, look out. At that point, let's just aim the camera for the post-game handshake, because that one might be a little bit on the 10. The way that this one is turning out.
From the 38 now, here comes 2nd and 8.
Hey, 73.
Back to throw. This short throw caught by Goddard. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
They'll try to run for it with Penny. And he's got the 1st down yardage as he brings this up to the 47.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball. You often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling, but inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
Elliott on for the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Just a 4-play drive that time.
And it's capped off by an A.J. Brown touchdown.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field.
But we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
And now the rookie's free. A big play Minnesota. 46 yards.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy, because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
Cousins now to throw on first down.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Cousins. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Hassan Reddick able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening. Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. That is caught. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. Point after, right down the middle, as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And he takes this near the 25, just a little pass there, called it the 26. The Eagles just about set to go to work on offense.
And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. They'll try and run some clock here with Penny. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
From the 46-yard line, a 2nd down and 6.
Penny up the middle. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped it. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
On 3rd down, Penny. And he'll take this for a short gain on what will prove to be the final play of this ball game.
Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it today. What a dominant showing from an offense that was truly playing at an elite level in this contest.
Partner, this game was over a long time ago, and you noticed they did not want to slow down anything. Absolutely dream scenario for everyone on that offense, and they took advantage of every second. Guaranteed popcorn for everyone in their film session.